This is one of the last intact salmon cultures on the planet in terms of indigenous peoples living in their homelands, surviving off of the resources, managing, stewarding the resources. It's a pretty phenomenal place. We've got a pretty phenomenal opportunity. And in terms of what we want the future to look like, for me, it's that there's a viable opportunity to continue your fishing way of life in your homelands. And that's what we want. And we're lucky that we have a renewable resource. And if we take care of it, it'll keep coming back. So we just need to make sure that our management decisions, our policy decisions are able to account for community-based fishing livelihoods and ways of life.
I really believe that habitat protection is one of the most important things you can do. That's why we are still a place that has a lot of salmon. If we don't have habitat protection, we don't have any salmon coming back. You can overfish the salmon, and if you have your habitat, you can bring them back. If you don't put hatcheries all over the place and mess up your genetics, your habitat protection, keep the genetics strong. All the streams have to contribute to the genetics. We can't just focus on one genetics from one stream. I'm listening to Dr. Schindler talk about it, and you quickly realize that we are diverse. We have our habitat protected right now. We have to keep it that way, and if we don't want to lose our diversity or our habitat. Those are the really important things. The rest of it's all politics on how many spawners do you want to come back and where do they intercept them.
The biggest threat to the sustainability of the fishery is not necessarily just with the commodified industry, right? It's the lack of a holistic approach when we think about fish as being only a resource. We have local leaders here, and we have always lived in this idea of subsistence or a very sustainable reciprocal relationship with this resource, and we've moved away from that.
I think Bristol Bay is super lucky. We've got the largest red salmon run on the planet. There is no place like this on Earth. But the way we manage the fishery has alienated locals and Alaska Natives from participating in the way they want to. So I think that's definitely a priority for me to figure out how to move forward in terms of sustaining local access, community-based fishing livelihoods.
But returning access to the fisheries here, which are unique and incredible in the world, to coastal residents and coastal communities, which is what was originally envisioned in the creation of limited entry, I think would be a great start. It's going to be a long process to make that happen, but I think that really needs to happen, or you're going to see, villages more and more, losing population and it just hurts what was limited entry was originally intended for, or at least a provision of limited entry.